Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Aqueduct Racetrack here on Sunday. It's the 23rd of April, 2023. Gonna look at third race from Aqueduct, but before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5 for more selections for race courses around the world, and I mean it around the world. Let's look at the third from Aqueduct, which is an allowance race, purse $82,000. Race for 3-year-olds and upwards, never won $18,000 other than the main claiming starter or Stapler Lounge race, or it's never won 2 races here. We have a field of 7 horses, including a part of an entry, going to the main track. The distance of ground here of 1,900 meters, or the distance of ground of a mile 3/16 on the Aqueduct main track. 1,900 meters, a mile 3/16, Aqueduct main track. And we're going to get some rain Saturday into Sunday here, so, track might have some moisture into it. That's why there's a lack of turf racing. But, earlier in the week it said we're going to get a lot of rain. Now it shouldn't be so much, so I think the turf racing might actually stay on. We desperately do need the rain here in New York, though. It's been a very dry year in general, but especially very dry spring. But going to this third race, I like these longer distance races, and they've been quite a few of them I've noticed over the winter here at Aqueduct. And hopefully they continue that going into to Belmont and Saratoga, because mile 3/16 mile and a quarter races on dirt are very fun to handicap. Well, they can't run a mile 3/16, I don't think, at Belmont, but maybe some mile and a quarter races for those dirt horses. But my top selection here, I'm going to go with the one horse Reserve Currency. I'm going to go 1, 2, 4, 3 in the superfecta. 1, 2, 4, 3 super. My top selection is the one horse Reserve Currency. 4-year-old colt by American Freedom. Chad Brown trains this one. Jose Ortiz gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came the 11th of March here at Aqueduct on the slop. 1 mile and allowance race at 82,000. First time facing winners. He finished 5th by 3.5 lengths that day, and he never weakened out of it, but he never quickened up either. He just kind of plodded along. I do think he wanted the 2 turns. He ran okay. Came home with an 84 buyer. He needs to, going around 2 turns today to a mile 3/16 could be forwardly paced. I think he could run a good race and win here today. 2 back 2nd of February at Aqueduct. 1 mile main special weight, 80,000, and he won by 9.25 lengths that day, and he sat back early, a little bit wide, but when he quickened up, he went away with it. A very good wide victory there. And then prior to that, 3rd of November at Churchill, 1 mile in the main special weight, he finished 2nd by 2.25 lengths that day. Again, he sat back early, a little bit wide, but he was gaining that day. Going around 2 turns shouldn't be a problem. I'm going to give him a shot on the ticket. I'm also going to use the 1A horse, Seismic Change, on the ticket also. I get him for free with the part of an entry, but, he won here on the 10th of March quite nicely by nose, holding on to the victory there, where I thought he just ran, the final furlong looked like he was going to get overtaken, but he grinded it out. A very good victory there, first time around 2 turns. Prior to that, the main special weight for 80,000, 2nd of February, he actually placed beyond Reserve Currency, and again, he was, second best that day, but I thought he won a longer trip there. Then here in December in 1 mile main special weight, he finished 3rd by 7 lengths. Not the best race that day. He just was a little bit too far out of it. The winner really ran a good race and was the next start winner. But coming here also, I'll use him on the ticket. Like I said, I do get him for free here on the ticket. I think the 2 horse Complete Agenda for Trevor McCarthy as your second likeliest winner. Here on the 31st of March in a mile and 8th optional 45 claimer. A very tough race that day. He finished 2nd by 4.5 lengths behind Curbstone. He was a little bit wide, but was gaining that day. Prior to that, in mid-February, and claiming 35,000. He finished 3rd by 1.25 lengths. And again, he had a little bit of a tough trip, but he had a decent race there. He's going to the longer trip for the first time in a minute. I think he can really run a good race. Last time he ran over the longer trip came actually at Churchill in November. Mile and a quarter and allowance race, 123,000, where he finished 6th by 15.25 lengths that day, and he just never was really comfortable that day. But since coming to New York over the winter, he's really become a better horse. 9-2, I'll use him. And also watch out for the 4-horse Afshan for Andre Wolfson. He's 8-1 here. Most recently on the 1st of April on the mud in the start allowance race over the mile furlong. He won by 1.5 lengths. It had a dream tracking trip. He was a little bit drifting that day, but he got the job coming home with an A2 buyer. Prior to that, on the 17th of March in the claiming 40, he finished 3rd by 3 lengths that day. A little bit wide, a little bit bumpy, which probably cost his chances. But another horse, I think going to a longer trip to suit him well. 8-1, we'll use him in the pick 4. But to recap my selection for the 3rd from Aqueduct, let's use the 1 horse Reserve Currency. We'll go 1, 1A, 2, 4 in the multi-race. 1, 1A, 2, 4, 3 super. So 1, 2, 4, 3 super. So good luck to all, please. Follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5. Good luck, everybody.